Chapter 7. Personal Experience, Judging. The Myers and Briggs Foundation describes judging as those who like things decided and who like to plan ahead. In addition, as what we have said, the judging attribute paired with introversion determines that our judging function, feeling for the defender, is extroverted and auxiliary, while our perceiving function, sensing for the defender, is introverted and dominant. Therefore, our personal experience of our judging attribute is largely inseparable from our personal experience of our dominant sensory attribute and auxiliary feeling attribute. I have left those experiences which seem to be related to, not more strongly to, inversion or sensing or feeling, but related as well to the judging preference for this section. It might be more accurate to refer to them as ISFJ related than judging related, however. 1. Traditional. As defenders, we tend to be traditional, holding to familiar habits and patterns. We may be resistant to change, and we struggle to keep our balance during times of transition. We may be viewed as inflexible, wanting to do things as we have always done them, and, as predictably unadventurous, unwilling to give up the known for the unknown. We can also be sentimental, not wanting our home to change, unwilling to give up things that we don't need, but which we associate with valuable people or experiences. It may not be a common trait for all ISFJs, but I am very sentimental. I remember things from the past, and I treasure those memories. Associated with the memories are things I found, first things, last things, and especially things that have been given to me by friends and loved ones. In addition to my sentimentality, my upbringing with my financially conservative, Depression-era thinking father has made me reluctant to let go anything which might remain useful, especially if it is not suitable for donation and resale by some charity. This all adds up to far too many things kept. Boxes and boxes of it, well organized, mind you, but still, much of it amounts to things which most anyone else would have thrown away long ago. It fills closets and makes it difficult for us to find a place to store the things that we actually use. To make matters worse, my husband and at least one of my children are cut from the same cloth. We are all sentimentally attached to things. If I present something to my husband as a candidate for goodwill contribution, he says simply, "It's mine. I want it. My Aunt Gertrude gave it to me." How can anyone argue with that? Application. ISFJs must challenge themselves always to be trying something different, learning something new. I know that I am the last to embrace changes in the way I do things, particularly as they relate to technology. While I definitely have some support for this position, in the unpredictability and not infrequent headaches that can come with the adoption of a new technology or even the latest software update, I probably take it to the extreme. I have been known to find a workaround for a problem and use it for years, literally, before seeking a better way, only to find that indeed there is a better way which may have existed all along, and that it is very easy to learn. The same is true of new products. My husband has learned. If he suggests a new product for our family, my usual response is that we don't have room for it, and we don't need it. On the first account, I am correct. We don't have room. We might need to get rid of something we already have, yet another major challenge for me. But if he believes that it will make life easier in some way, he is likely to order it anyway. Once it enters the home, and I adjust to the reality that this new product belongs to us, I may be willing to attempt its use. Often, I then find it to be very helpful, something such as a microwave oven, yes, that I wouldn't again want to be without. The reality is that there is a happy medium somewhere between his purchasing pattern, which is heavily influenced by suggestion, and mine, which tends more toward, if we don't have it, we don't need it. I'm not sure we'll ever find it, and I'm pretty sure we'll continue to argue about it, but I know one thing. We're committed for the long haul. The above should be applied to our thinking as well. Defenders must challenge themselves to be open to new ways of thinking. We can tend to be in-the-box thinkers, predictable in our thinking as well as in our actions. We want to approach problems with the same approaches we have used before, but we need to try new approaches. We want to see things from the same perspective, but we need to consider also new perspectives. We can learn to think out of the box. We can learn to consider new perspectives and new approaches without sacrificing our deeply held convictions. and we need to do so if we wish to keep learning and growing and becoming. If you, like me, are a potential hoarder in the making, and if your habit is creating difficult logistical challenges in your home, try first to appeal to your generous side. What do you have that you will never use that someone else may need right now? Even if a particular item is not a need, perhaps it can be sold to purchase meals for those who are hungry or some other kind of assistance to others. Many charities accept donations for just such purposes as these. If that strategy doesn't accomplish enough, try enforcing upon yourself a practice of selecting just one thing each day to throw away or give away. Or 2 things. 4, 5, depending on the severity of your situation. Any progress is better than no progress. The theory behind this strategy is that you will begin to experience and enjoy the freedom that comes when we let go of things. It may be literal freedom of movement, if you can increase the space around you, or it may just be the freedom of not having to shuffle, organize, and maintain as many things. Be determined to avoid justifying the collection of more things by the removal of a few from your home. I have recently reached the age at which it has occurred to me when I look into a box which is accessed only on a rare occasion, that it is possible the next time it is accessed may be by someone other than me, when I'm no longer able to manage my own things. This, in and of itself, is a motivator, and it leads me to realize what little value some of the things will have to anyone who follows me. 2. Organized. ISFJs value organization. We want things to be orderly and predictable, and we want to feel that we have everything under control. I have already mentioned in the section related to the dominant cognitive function sensing, S, that I am not a good multitasker when it comes to focus tasks, and certainly not a willing one. Just as interruptions to focus tasks create inward stress, so do instances of disorder in my home. As a child, my room was kept, by me, in perfect order. I loved it. Occasionally, I would go through every single item in my room, to the deepest corner of every storage box, and make sure all was organized. I could not go to bed, could not have slept, until the task was complete. After we married, it was the same. Even though I worked, everything was kept in near-perfect order. Then we had children. Children for whom order held little value, the first 2 of whom were dominant intuitives, not sensors. Children who couldn't find their own shoes. My life and home as I had known them fell apart. With the great increase of joy and love in my life came the demise of order, and for me, the peace and security that had come with them. It didn't change much as they grew. They began to appreciate some order, but it certainly was not the priority for them that it was for me. It seemed a lonely battle, a battle against the inexorable process of entropy, and worse, a battle against those I love. Where I cleaned up, they messed up. This made me feel frustrated and angry, and I complained, and explained, and begged, bribed, and demanded, all in the hopes that someone would hear and join my crusade, but all to no avail. It's not that they never help, it's that they do not see things like I do, nor do they see like I do. I don't like that feeling of enmity with those I love, so at some point, maybe 18 or 20 years in, I pretty much gave up. Not even my own workspaces are ordered as they used to be. There is order underneath. I still do periodic to-the-bottom-of-the-box organization, but I can't organize everyone else's things anymore. We are basically 5 adults, and I can't keep ahead of the surface disorder. While I am ordering one place, others are disordering another. Not everything can be perfectly organized/consistent in a home like mine, with 4 diversely focused people and 3 animals. It drives me nuts. There is always that nagging sense that things are simply not as they should be. But I have long since given up hope of fixing it, as long as all are coming and going. And I do welcome them with all my heart to come and go, and come again. Application. For now, at least, I have chosen to satisfy myself with small pockets of order. Little categories of my life in which I can maintain some order and enjoy some degree of perfection. My photography, my photo books, my writing. And when I disappear into those pursuits, I find that to some extent the disorder around me fades away. I still hope to have order in our homes again one day, but I won't wish my kids or pets away in order to achieve that. If it comes, it comes. If not, My battle will be to maintain the underneath order in those things we do not interact with every day, such that we or someone else can take a quick look and know pretty much what category of papers or things they are looking at. I won't offer too much advice in this category. Different people will deal with it differently. As for me, I have to satisfy myself with my own private pockets of order and deal with the disorder around me the best I can. 3. The 3 Ps. ISFJs are stable, solid, loyal, and dependable. We're practical, we're pragmatic, and we're predictable. What's more, we actually like predictable. People rarely have to wonder what we'll do next. In my family, I'm almost always the one noting the price of things. I'm the one warning of the possible pitfalls associated with any new idea or activity. I'm the one who doesn't want to see the movie, at least in part because of the time that is wasted in watching. I'm the one who told my boyfriend, now father of my children, that he should invite someone else to the fraternity formal because I didn't have a dress, didn't know what kind of dress to buy, and didn't know how to dance. Did I actually write that? Application. As the pragmatic, practical, predictable ones, ISFJs can unfortunately also be unnecessarily fun-quashing. Our practical, measured approach does not necessarily go along with spontaneity and fun. We tend to be just about as adventurous as a turnip. Sometimes we overlook the whole purpose of a proposition for fun, immediately beginning analysis of its practical advantages and disadvantages. Sometimes we are reluctant to interpret a task on which we are focused, or even just to interpret our routine in order to enjoy a few minutes with someone else. And, very often, if something new and different is suggested, we are automatically uncomfortable with the idea. It doesn't come naturally to defenders suddenly to jump up and say, "Let's go." That which doesn't come naturally, but which is valuable, we need to cultivate with intentionality. So it's important for ISFJs themselves occasionally to plan a bit of fun. It's important, too, that when others suggest some recreation with us, we immediately consider overriding our natural inertia in order to take part. Remember, an ambiguous response on the front end can dampen the enthusiasm before the fun ever gets started.